Not only do we have updates regarding the criminal cases of Joseph Duggar and his wife Kendra, but also Joseph's brother Joshua too, as he's now looking at spending more time behind bars. But we got a chance to sit down with their cousin, Amy Duggar King. What are her thoughts, her feelings, her opinions on everything that has happened in the past few months? Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So as you know, we have been following the criminal cases involving the Duggars, and a little bit later on, I'm bringing on Amy Duggar King to get her perspective on all this. But 31-year-old Joseph Duggar is facing charges in two different states. In Florida, the 19 kids and counting star has been charged with felony counts of lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim less than 12 years old, lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person 18 years or older for, this is again the allegations, allegedly sexually abusing a 9-year-old girl during a family vacation back in 2020. He was released from Florida jail after posting a $600,000 bond. But at the same time, he and his wife, 27-year-old Kendra, are also facing charges in Arkansas. Now, apparently, as part of this ongoing investigation, authorities there charged them with the misdemeanor crimes of 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor, 2nd degree, 4 counts of false imprisonment, 2nd degree. Not entirely clear what that all is related to, possibly something to do with their 4 kids, as per reporting. And by the way, I might have a better understanding of what this is in a second, but I will tell you, People magazine, for example, reported that a source close to the family told them, I can tell you the arrest was a result of a home inspection and the door locks being on the exterior of the doors. We can't confirm that 100%, but we know that she bonded out. She's been released. They have each pleaded not guilty to all of these charges, and they will reportedly make their first court appearance on these Arkansas charges August 10th. Now, we have a new piece of information. Kendra has been reunited with these kids, her kids, after the court dissolved a no-contact order that had been put in place. According to People, though Joseph, by the way, is still not permitted to have unsupervised contact with his children given the charges in Florida, Travis Story, the lawyer for both Kendra and Joseph, argued in court paperwork that Kendra had been prohibited from seeing her children, her kids, since March 20th, argued, quote, the alleged victims have expressed a desire to have contact with Kendra. So by saying alleged victims, seemingly confirming, right, the kids are the ones these Arkansas charges are about, right? Goes on to say, quote, that Kendra has complied with all terms of the no contact order and has not committed any violations, and also made the argument that the continued enforcement of the no contact order is preventing evaluations by qualified third-party agencies that are necessary to resolution of the case and to ensure the ongoing safety and well-being of the protected parties. Does make me wonder if there's some sort of settlement that may be worked out here and this might not go to trial. Now, the district court agreed to dissolve the order, added that the Arkansas Department of Human Services will supervise, communicate, and facilitate reunification between Kendra and the children. And with that in mind, I actually had the opportunity real quick to interview Courtney Kleiman, who's an SVU and domestic violence prosecutor. Take a listen. Courtney, thanks so much for taking the time. This no contact order that kept Kendra from seeing her 4 kids, it was dissolved. Is that typical in cases like this? I mean, when you compare her charges with what her husband is facing out in a different jurisdiction, it's one thing, but is it typical to see that?
I would say absolutely. The charges that Kendra are facing are not direct sexual abuse of her children. So usually when cases like that happen and the other parent is charged, it's usually called something endangering the welfare of a child. And it's very, very hard to terminate parents' rights. And because the crimes were not abuse of her own children, the order of protection that makes sense for it to be dissolved, but it could also be modified later in family court as well.
Let me just challenge that for a minute, since we don't know the exact circumstances or allegations that surround her charges. Let's say they are about her own children, but would that change the analysis? Could you say there could be a situation where even she's charged with respect to alleged activity, behavior with respect to her own children, and she could still have that no contact order be dissolved?
So I think every criminal case that starts with abuse of a child and it's a parent there is a no contact order of protection in place that starts. However, that order of protection is almost always, depending on the jurisdiction, usually subject to family court modification. So you can have a no contact order of protection in criminal court, but then you can go to family court and apply for a no offensive contact order of protection, which is a less restrictive order of protection, which allows you to have contact with the child. Or you get supervised visitation. You can have a third party be with you when you are seeing your child. It is very, very difficult to terminate a parental order of protection.
All right, before we go any further into this, I have to say, this is a little bit of a 180, but I think a surefire way to ruin a great outfit is with a broken, worn out belt, right? That's where Anson Belt and Buckle comes in. This is huge. This is a family-run company that has completely reinvented how belts should work since they launched in 2009. Because instead of holes, Anson uses a micro-adjustable track system with quarter-inch increments, so your belt is going to fit perfectly and adjust with you throughout the entire day. So whether you're sitting, you're standing, you're on the move, you're going to look sharp, you're going to feel great. Look at this, navy belt. Navy belt. You know how hard it is to find a navy belt like this? So not only are they stylish, every strap and buckle interchangeable. So you're always going to have a belt that perfectly matches your outfit. They also have over 40,000 five-star reviews. They offer a lifetime guarantee. And since Anson is today's sponsor, click the link in the description or scan the QR code to build a box set with 2 bonus pieces, a buckle and a strap, completely free. So that's 3 buckles and 3 straps, which can be mixed and matched into 9 unique belt combinations, all in one box. Click the link, build your set, upgrade your belt game today. Now, before I get to my interview with Amy Duggar King, there was another piece of news that came out also, and she addresses this too. This is about Josh Duggar, sitting in prison, 12-year sentence, receiving child sexual abuse material. He reportedly will now spend an extra 2 months in prison, tacked on to his sentence, scheduled now to be released February 2nd, 2033. This is according to the Bureau of Prisons, per reporting from People. So Josh's attorney, Bo Brindley, told the outlet, quote, "There is no way to know the basis of a deviation of this limited magnitude," adding that it could be the result of a program availability which is wholly out of the inmate's control. So not necessarily saying a violation of some kind, right? Or that he did something wrong. And this comes as Josh has been pushing forward with his 4th appeal of his conviction. In fact, recently, the United States Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal of his in June of 2024. But now I go to his cousin, Amy Duggar King, claims that he has been placed in solitary, has some thoughts on the extension of this prison sentence, has some thoughts on the situation developing with Kendra and Joseph. I got a chance to sit down with her and ask her all about it. Amy, good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. I have to imagine this is an incredibly tough and confusing time for you and your family. So I just want to start there. How are you doing? How is your family doing throughout all this?
Yeah, I think it's like a nightmare that never ends. And so I am trying to do everything that I can in order to just help me have some mental clearness, and my mental health is really important to me. So I'm focused on, my son, my marriage, our life and our little family and my mom. And it's something that is really helping me through it. Honestly, I homeschool. I am very hands-on mom. He has lots of play dates, lots of stuff like that. And so I'm just trying to keep myself busy and not really focus on probably all the details that are to come.
Have a lot of people been reaching out to you, asking you questions? I mean, what's that been like?
I have had so many people reach out. I've had friends drop over flowers and gift cards and just been so sweet. I just feel like there's such a loving community here. My friends are, my little inner circle that I have, and I just love them so much. And so, yeah, that's the people I vent to, the people that I share my inner thoughts to, and I know that they are just going to be there for me and just to help me through it. So I just have to lean on that.
There is so much that's always talked about with your family for years, and there's a lot being said right now. What do you think is the biggest misconception the biggest misperception that people have right now, whether it's about you, whether it's about your family, the Duggar family in general? What is something that you know, if you have the platform, you could say everyone's getting something wrong? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think it really stems down to the IBLP practices. I believe that's, what my family has believed for years and years, and they followed these teachings. And I do think that people think it's godly. People think that it's just, so I honestly believe that the IBLP framework of just the belief system is so messed up. And so I think people want to believe what was shown on TV, but they don't want to believe the other half, right? They want to believe what they've been shown all of these years. And so, there's going to be the supporters and the ones that actually see black and white and see for what it is.
Just to expand upon that, based on the allegations that Joseph and Kendra are facing, and these are allegations at this point, they haven't been found guilty in a court of law, very different charges that Kendra is facing than Joseph. I mean, there's they're facing similar ones in Arkansas. Do you think that potentially plays a role in what they're accused of doing?
I think it definitely plays a role. Allegedly, I hope it's not true. I hope all these charges there's no truth to them, but I do believe there's a reason why the kids were taken. I do believe that there's more to this story and we're just now uncovering it, and it's going to take a while. Court dates are months apart. And so I just feel like we're all on pins and needles as we wait to hear more information and to find out the verdict. And there's just so much. It's ongoing. It is an ongoing investigation. And I hate that it is someone that I'm related to.
Have you spoken to them, or when was the last time you spoken to Joseph or Kendra?
No, I actually haven't spoken to them in quite a while. When Josh was arrested and went to prison, before his first scandal, the one involving his sisters and that huge scandal, I confronted him. And I really spoke truth about how I felt in that situation. And I wrote it in my memoir, Holy Disruptor, just really told the whole story of that entire scene. I really painted it for people, to really understand what went on. And in that moment, I realized that in my opinion, the big house, my cousin's house, it was not a safe place for me to be. And I have not gone back. And that includes anyone that showed support for Josh. Unfortunately, in my opinion, those cousins, Joe and everyone else, really did show their support for Josh during that time. And I had to make a very healthy boundary and say, I cannot support anyone who is going to support this man. There has been a healthy boundary. I haven't actually spoken to them in probably 5 years.
Oh, wow. And what about anybody else from the family? Do you stay in touch with anybody else? Or?
So Jill and I are very close. Jill is someone that I really lean on, and she leans on me, and I watch her kids, and we have a really great cousinship. I think she's gotten a lot of clarity and a lot of therapy, and I think it's been really great for her to really see things for what they are. And yeah, we've been able to connect on different levels of just how we feel about certain things. But as far as anyone else is concerned, no, my boundaries are high, and they're put there for a reason.
What do you think about the fact that the court has now dissolved that no contact order, so Kendra can now have contact with her children again?
I really hope that the kids are just safe in every aspect. I don't believe you can cherry pick on how children are safe and how they're protected and how they're cared for. So I hope that they are being cared for at the highest level. I don't know what more to say. I don't know really what went on because we still don't know because of her court date and all the things we don't really know. I know that she has been compliant. I know that she's, I think she's in touch with them is what I'm sure that's happening. And I just wish them all the best. And I hope that Kendra, whatever she needs help with and whatever she needs therapy for, that she'll receive it.
Do you know if other members of the family are helping Joseph, Kendra, the kids during this time?
I know nothing. I have no information that's given to me, but I have heard through the grapevine that is the case.
What was your reaction when the news broke about those charges?
I think the first time that the charges were, what they were, I was absolutely brokenhearted. And the fact that now allegedly it could be Joe, like I loved him. He's such a sweet, well, from what I knew, such a sweet person, someone that people really relied on, very funny, very friendly, big teddy bear, knew how to, he was just really humble and kind. And so the fact that this is Joe, it absolutely just breaks my heart, in a whole other way, like I said, it's a nightmare that doesn't end. And I hope and pray there's not any more. But at the same time, I'm going to be real and be honest and tell you that there probably is.
Jumping on that for a second, did you look at this and say, a lot of people, when someone's charged with a crime, they go back, they look at their past with that person, and something that maybe they didn't see back in the day, maybe they ignored, now they look at it with a different light. Again, these are allegations, hasn't been proven guilty,
right.
Very serious allegations. Do you go back and you say to yourself, there's a couple of times in my interactions with him, my past with him, things that I've seen, heard from him, that maybe you look at a little bit differently?
I don't think so. Like I said, whenever I was around him, it was when we were filming. So I didn't really, it's very interesting. I have a big family, sure, but we weren't very close. They didn't know me as like a person. They knew me as what was allowed to be shown to them. And so I got to know them on a very surface level. Even years of them filming with me and all the things that we did together, and me filming with them, I literally knew them on a surface level. It was the weather, it was how pretty their skirts were, it was, our conversations were what we were told to talk about. So we never really discussed, what we were struggling with or what we were learning, or just the inner workings of who we are. I didn't even know their like favorite color, if that gives you just an idea of kind of how level service it was. And so I think that because I haven't been around in 5-6 years, a lot can change. A person can change. I don't believe, now here's what I don't believe. I don't believe that someone at 25 years old, goes to a beach vacation and decides to become a monster just randomly, on a family vacation, allegedly. I don't believe that is the start of something. I think that we have to look at generational trauma. You have to look at patterns and you have to disrupt them. And so that's what I've had to do with my family, is say, hey, boundaries are very important. And I'm not going to allow this to involve my inner family. I'm going to keep them safe and keep peace intact. And I'm going to just stand up for truth, stand up for what is right. And, I don't know where it began with Joe. I don't know where it began with Josh, but I have a lot of questions, just like everyone else.
100%. And I will tell you, one of the things that surprised me, and I'm curious what your reaction to it was, and maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but since the aftermath of his arrest and the charges, I've seen a number of members of the family issue public statements where it wasn't like he's completely innocent, he didn't do this. There seems to be an acknowledgement, at least saying, again, he's innocent to proven guilty, but they seem to say that he did it, and they hope that he heals, and they hope they learn from it. I was a bit surprised by that. I mean, did you see the same thing where they're saying, what this is about the victim in this case? Not even they say alleged victim, they say victim, that he needs help. I thought that was interesting to see that response from the family.
I thought it was very interesting as well. I saw my uncle's response. I saw some of the brothers' responses. I also think it's interesting because yes, they're showing support as for him to get help and for him to, get saved or, to change his ways or whatever. But at the same time, I've heard that there is a lot of support happening behind the scenes. And I hope that the, comments and supportive emails going out to, the media and everything like that actually stands, because I hope it's not a PR, plug-in.
Right.
I feel like that the media can spin things, and I feel like allegedly they can spin things. And so I just hope that he does. I hope it pays for what happened, whatever it might be. If he is guilty and he has done these things, then, punish him to the fullest amount.
Amy, I got to ask you about Joshua. So this was interesting. His time in prison has been extended, apparently reportedly put in solitary. You believe you know why that happened, right?
I mean, I believe that he had a cell phone. Isn't that correct? Then he had another cell phone.
I'm curious about it because I've seen some reporting where it suggested like we don't know what the potential violations were. Do you have some more information as to what, if there were violations or why it was extended or what happened here? Because I don't think we've gotten an official reason why.
No, I don't think that we've gotten an official why either. And even, I put on my social media because everybody comes to me for answers because I'm the outspoken one that they're like, hey, you were there.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Tell us more. And I'm like, I'm finding out just like you guys are. I assume, though, it is probably because of a cell phone. That's just my take. That's my guess on it. And it's because it's happened before. I do believe that he thinks he's above the law. I do think that he thinks I can get away with whatever. I'm Josh Duggar, that whole thing. And I do think that pride goes before a fall. And so, I do think it was probably a cell phone. I have no proof of that whatsoever. But it just makes you wonder who gave it to him, how did he get it, and what's he doing with it? What's he looking up? I've got questions. I have so many questions.
How do you feel about the fact that he'd spend more time in prison?
Oh, I'm celebrating it. I'm celebrating it. I hope he stays there until his children are 18 years or older. Yeah.
By the way, just talking about being locked up, one of the things that we covered on this show, just going back to Joseph and Kendra, a lot of their phone calls were released. I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen to any of them.
I heard them all.
What'd you think of them?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, how much time do you have, Jesse?
You tell
because
me.
let me tell you, they were so sad. They were so sad. I felt, this is my own opinion, but I felt like Joseph was extremely selfish in those situations. He wasn't showing any concern for Kendra. Kendra had to ask, like, do you still love me? And I'm like in my head, I'm screaming like, Kendra, do you love yourself? Do you love yourself? Here's someone allegedly that might have hurt a 9-year-old. Do you love yourself enough to break free? I've said this in other podcasts, but this is her time to shine, right? She can protect those children. She can get out of that situation if it's correct, if it's, guilty verdict, all the things. And I just don't know what's going to happen. I hope to God that she widens up and she really sees it for what it is.
Did you also get the sense that they were very careful not to explain the substance of the charges because they know it's recorded. It says it's a recorded line. But did you get a sense that about how they may be approaching the Arkansas charges, like what their perception of it may be, how they view it?
Well, I know that I saw emails that were from my uncle that said, it's ridiculous that Kendra was charged. It's ridiculous that she was arrested. Like, we're going to see if we can get those dropped, like that kind of stuff. But again, think about the meter of how to protect a child, right? Like, what is good, what is bad, and where do you draw the line of saying, like, okay, I'm a good parent if I feed my kids. I'm a good parent if I, protect my kids from predators, allegedly. Where's that line at? Because I think it starts with making sure they're safe, protected, loved, and cared for every single day of their life. And if they're not, then we need to look deeper into the situation. My heart goes out to those children. I've never met them, but my heart goes out to them so much. And I just hope that they're safe wherever they are.
Amy, you've been so generous with your time and really being so open about this. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with our viewers and our listeners so they can get your perspective on all this. But thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you again to Amy Duggar King. Really appreciate it. And thank you all out there for following us here on this case. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you next time, everybody.